Next to a recognition of the 51st anniversary of the Khmer Rouge Genocide, led by Council Members Mosqueda and Barron. Council members, please go ahead whenever you're ready. And we'll give a minute to clear the space here.
Come on up here. Okay, wonderful. Well, as our friends join us, I want to say thank you to my colleagues. We're very lucky today. We have 6 speakers to accept this recognition. So in the interest of time, Madam Chair, we're going to leave the bulk of the time to hear from our friends from the Khmer community. I'll keep it very brief. It is truly an honor. This is, I believe...
May I interrupt for just a moment? Can the folks let the folks who are here for the Khmer recognition step forward, please?
It's okay. You're all welcome. Thank you so much. And again, Chair Perry, it's my honor to help sponsor this recognition in partnership with Councilmember Barron. Last year we brought it forward, and I think this is the chance that we've had now 4 years in a row to be part of the sponsoring party, bringing forward this recognition of the vibrant Khmer community across King County. Today we're going to hear from Khmer leaders, including Shawn Ross from the Cambodian American Community Council of Washington, Jenny App from the Cambodian American Advocacy for Peace, Samite Mel, who is, you're going to have to help me, with Spin Rajana. Okay, and Soste Kaden So from Khmer Student Association, Sina Sam from Khmer Anti-Deportation and Advocacy Group, and Tida Cham from Khmer Community of Seattle and King County. Again, it's my honor to be able to bring forward this recognition in partnership with Councilmember Barron. So before we turn it to our community partners for the recognition of the 51st anniversary of the Khmer Rouge Genocide and our call for action to never forget and always be working towards not only observation of this day and this time period, but to also recognize the role that King County Council and our community has to play in supporting the Khmer Americans throughout King County in rebuilding lives, preserving culture and identity, and advocating for policies that protect immigrants and refugees. I'd like to turn it to my colleague, Councilmember Jorge Barron, who has been leading in this area.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Mosqueda. I'll be very quick and just say that I'm honored to join this proclamation and grateful for all the community members who came here today. I look forward to hearing their remarks, so I'll just turn it over to them.
Thank you. Thank you again, Council Chair, Vice Chair, and Councilmember Mosqueda for helping with this and the full Council. My name is Samit Mel. I'm 1.5 generation Khmer American. My family were refugees here in the county. We landed here in 1985. I grew up with no concept of a full family because of this genocide, and so many of our communities experienced the same thing. This was devastated between the 1975 to 1979. So I know that today we want to remember the lives that are lost during the genocide and also honor the resiliency of the Khmer communities abroad, here in the diaspora and back at home country. I just want to say that this war is not, that genocide was not isolated. We were pulled into this particular war during the Nixon administration, and where hundreds of thousands of tons of bombs were targeted on Cambodian soil. That was a secret bombing that killed a lot of villagers and displaced millions of people. And that destruction helped to create the conditions for the Khmer Rouge to take power. And I just wanted to make sure that we all know that it is not isolated at all. So for many of us, the history still lives in our families and the traumas survivors carry, and in the journeys that brought refugees here to the county and to Washington State to seek safety and healing. So today we want to thank the County Council at whole for helping to recognize our community and standing with our truth, remembrance, and healing. Thank you so much.
First, I would like to say thank you all for your time and for allowing us a safe space to do the proclamation. My name is Charm Sok, and I'm here representing CAP, which stands for Cambodian American Advocating Peace. Over 1.7 million lives were taken, and to this day, we still carry the pain and the trauma. I am here today because my mom and dad survived, but survival came with a cost. Our elders are still suffer from depression, anxiety, trauma, and PTSD. I'm sure that it's very triggering for them to witness the chaos happening in the world today, with ICE tearing families apart. How can any real healing start when history keeps repeating itself? It's time to break the cycle. In fact, it's long overdue. This is why the work that I do with CAP is so significant to me. Our mission is to promote healing and empowerment for survivors and their families while addressing the underlying factors that contribute to gender-based violence, including poverty, systemic oppression, and intergenerational trauma. Now, as we wrap up our Cambodian New Year celebration for this year, I want to say thank you for the official recognition to honor survivors and remembering the nearly 2 million lives lost. I'm Charm Sok, and standing next to me is my teammate, my sister, and another founding mother of Cambodian American Advocating Peace, Mary Mang. Thank you for your time.
Good afternoon, and thank you to the council members for giving us an opportunity to speak today and for recognizing the anniversary of the Khmer Genocide. My name is Solstay, and I stand here as a proud Khmer American and the child of immigrants. Many Khmer families lost generations of scholars, teachers, and professionals, and because of this, higher education access has not always been equitable for Khmer students, and many of us are still navigating systems our families were never given the chance to experience. This is why representation and resources matter. Expanding Khmer language and cultural studies is essential, not just for preserving our history, but for empowering future generations to understand their identity and succeed academically. When students see themselves reflected in education, it creates a sense of belonging that is critical for success, and the resilience of my parents and elders is the reason why I'm here today. Their sacrifices are the foundation of my opportunities, and it is my responsibility to continue uplifting our community. And today I ask that we not only remember the past, but also invest in the future by supporting educational access, cultural preservation, and opportunities for Khmer youth. Thank you.
Let me come up. As well. Hi, thank you so much, council members, particularly Council Member Mosqueda for leadership and supporting our community. My name is Sina Sam. I am the co-founder and board member of the Khmer Anti-Deportation Advocacy Group. And our organization has been most active since 2018 in advocating for and defending our communities. Many of every single Cambodian here is, if there's anyone else who wants to stand up who's impacted, every single Cambodian that you may know have met is impacted by the war and conflict that happened in the American wars in Southeast Asia. And for those who are lucky enough to be resettled here in Seattle, which is the third largest population of Southeast Asians nationally outside of Cambodia, our community is resettled as the largest refugees in U.S. history. And for Southeast Asians with Vietnamese, Hmong, Lao, Mien Khmer, Montagnard communities who also came from Laos and Vietnam during that time, we make up the largest refugee community in U.S. history to be resettled. And as the largest community, we face so much in rebuilding, and every single Cambodian Khmer person who is here today is not only impacted, but works so hard to heal from this tragedy. And almost 2 million people, if you think about population-wise, King County, we have a population of, if anybody knows it, it's 2.3 million, am I correct? And so 2.3 million in all of King County in 4 years in Cambodia from 1975 to 1979, all of us would have perished during that time. That's how many people we're talking about when we're talking about genocide. And so I stand here so proudly with our community because not only do we have Susadai, who is a college student running the president of our Khmer Student Association, who's been active since the 80s in our community and throwing a New Year's celebration next weekend. Actually, it's a time of celebration for us. And during the 1970s, when the genocide broke out, it was Cambodian New Year. And so we also are here to reclaim celebration, history, our heritage, and also say that we are one of the largest refugee groups to stand with anti-deportation, gendered violence, anti-racism work, reproductive justice. We've followed the movements. A lot of our scholars are connecting with our young folks and educating out. Savon Lam, who is co-director of the CAGE, she's in Tacoma. We're working with the Northwest Detention Center. And so when we talk about progress, our community is at the forefront of coming back from total erasure. And so today, having you here supporting us and celebrating with us and recognizing that we're here and we are going to continue to thrive and rise, we really appreciate the recognition and the visibility.
Good afternoon, council member, and good afternoon to you all, and thank you so much for allowing us to be here. Thank you, Council Member Mosqueda and Council Barone, for allowing us. We've been doing this for 4 years now, and it's always, what a drag. I mean, it's something that we should have it, every year, but, we'll continue to do this. So I wanted to open with thanking you all for having us, and as we honored our 51st anniversary for this awful day, the tragedy that took nearly 2 million of my family and community members. It left a deep wounds that continue throughout the generations. For our Khmer Americans, this remembrance is not just only about remember and looking in the back, looking in the past, but it's also about protecting our community. As you heard today, many of our family, we've come here to seek a new life, a better life. But with the current immigration policies and the threats from the current administrations, we see a lot of these rollback, these protections, and it's creating fears to our communities that call this place home. And Seattle has been home and a sanctuary for our communities for nearly, I think, 5 decades. I was going to say century, but I wish. At this moment, we need not just commitment, we need stronger commitment from you all to protect our elders, our family, our youth who are here. This is their homes. And to not reopen those wounds of war and those hurts that we felt 50 years ago. So as we honor those last ones, we also stand with the survivor, with the descendants of the survivor who are still healing, who are fighting to make a new life here in this country. So thank you for recognizing this day for our community. And not only should we remember the past, but also remember in protecting them, remembering our humanity and injustice in us all. So thank you.
Honorable Council members, thank you for having us here. My name is Tita Chow. I'm with the Khmer community of Seattle, King County. So I was born into war just before the Khmer Rouge Genocide. I was only 5 when Anka, which is under the Khmer Rouge regime, executed my father and 2 of his brothers. Soon after, his sister and her husband were executed along with their 2 children. My 10-year-old brother was taken for forced labor, and we later learned that he was buried alive after falling ill. At age 7, my family attempted to flee to Thailand only to face a new nightmare. Along with 10,000 other refugees, we were forced by Thai soldiers down the steep Dong Rek Mountains in Privihir province, infested with landmines. My mom shared with us that we had to pave the dead bodies to navigate the landfills. At the time, my sibling and I were starving and suffering from chickenpox. My mom didn't think we would make it. I eventually reached the U.S. in 1983 after 2 years in the refugee camp. As we've heard from my peers, the root of our displacement started with the U.S. secret bombing of Cambodia that triggered our country into genocide, where nearly 90% of our educators, professionals, and artist masters were tortured and killed. This left community survivor, mainly farmers, with little to no formal education. Thus, not all refugees are created equal. When we settled in the U.S., we struggled and continue to struggle with system navigation. We were labeled problem refugees. We were placed in under-resourced neighborhoods, burdened by undiagnosed PTSD and broken courage. Navigating a system that saw our trauma as a deficit rather than a wound in need of healing. Because of our historical trauma, recurrent trauma, and intergenerational trauma, our community needs a dedicated space to heal, bridge intergenerational gap, and cultivate economic growth for sustainability. We are proud to announce that we are in the permitting phase to build the first ever Khmer Community and Cultural Center in White Center neighborhood. We are halfway with our funding goal and would welcome partnership from governments, philanthropy, and community to bring the Khmer Community and Cultural Center to life. Thank you so much for having us.
What an incredible call to action, and for us to remember the responsibility to collectively right these historic wrongs. So I appreciate the message here today. We are going to read the proclamation, and then we'll take a picture with everybody and share with our group as well. Up there sounds great. Okay, I'll start. Whereas Cambodia is one of the original civilizations in Southeast Asia, dating back nearly 4,000 years, and
whereas between 1969 and 1973, the United States dropped 540,000 tons of bombs into Cambodia, destabilizing the country's already fragile government and helping fuel the rise of the Khmer Rouge. And during the Cambodian genocide from April 1975 to January 1979, approximately 2 million people lost their lives at the hands of the Khmer Rouge. And
whereas today, over half of the members of the Cambodian population experience varying degrees of post-traumatic stress disorder or other forms of mental health issues brought on by the Cambodian genocide. And
whereas King County is home to over 22,000 individuals of Khmer descent. And
whereas this year marks the 51st anniversary of our community coming together to remember the atrocities that occurred to the Khmer community and under the Khmer Rouge regime. And
whereas between January and October 2025, the current federal administration deported more Southeast Asian American refugees in a single fiscal year than any prior administration, as well as placing a pause on immigration applications for 75 countries, including Cambodia. Hence, the current U.S. immigration policies have increased the vulnerability of Khmer Americans to deportation through targeted ICE raids, expedited removal proceedings, and rollback of protections for long-standing U.S. residents, leading to renewed trauma and instability in Khmer American communities. And
whereas King County has served as a welcoming and safe home for Khmer refugees and immigrants for over 5 decades, with local organizations, such as the ones that we heard from today, schools and community centers playing a vital role in supporting Khmer Americans in rebuilding their lives, preserving cultural identity, and advocating for policies that protect immigrant and refugee communities. Now, therefore, we, the Metropolitan King County Council, recognize April 14th, 2026 as the 51st anniversary of the Khmer Rouge Genocide and encourage the county residents to join in this special observance day. Thank you all. Take a picture up there. Would you like to join us?
Would you like to join us up on the dais for a picture, given the large number of folks here with us today?
Adela? Yeah. Okay, cho tôi chơi mà cho luôn đây mà cho tôi chơi mà. Tôi bong là chơi. Cho tôi chơi. Thank you. Thế mà.ជួយខอบคุณsao mà. Chơi mà chơi tạm. Everybody else is here. Vô cái tạm á, vô cái tạm á.
Can you see all of us?
Yes, now I can. But there's going to be 3 photos.